This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, hello. Hello, everyone. Very good morning. Good morning. So, I think only less students join. Okay, let's wait for more candidates to join and we'll start. Is my voice audible? Are you all able to hear me? Are you able to hear my voice? Are you able to hear my voice? Just, yeah, okay, fine. Thank you. Thank you. Let's wait for another 2 to 3 minutes and we'll start because I can see only few candidates joined. So, let's wait for another 2 to 3 minutes and we'll start. Yes. Oh, still I can see only 9 candidates joined. Okay. So today there will be two topics that we're gonna discuss. Okay. So topic one is reading comprehension, and the other one is synonyms and antonyms. Okay. So we'll try to work on these two together. Okay. So I will just try to put synonyms and antonyms in between the reading comprehension so that you will not feel bored. Okay. So firstly, we'll discuss few synonyms and antonyms, and then we will go ahead with reading comprehension and also the required exercises. And then again, we'll come back to reading synonyms and antonyms. So I just want to put synonyms and antonyms before and after reading comprehension topic so that you will not feel bored and you will not feel confused also. And others, whoever did not attend the session early also will not miss that. Okay? So, okay, so let me start first. So, friends, here are the list of synonyms and antonyms that we're going to discuss today. Okay, there are many pages, but please don't worry. Please don't get confused. So, I'm going to discuss the most important words in this. Okay, so I'll start with few words now, and we'll proceed with reading comprehension after that. Okay, and then again after reading comprehension, we'll continue with the same topic. Okay, right. So first of all, I'll send these documents, don't worry. So do you all know what is a synonym and what is an antonym? Do you all have any idea what is a synonym and what is an antonym? Can anyone tell me what is a synonym and what is an antonym? So what is synonym? Synonym is similar meaning. Yes, correct. Synonym means which carries the same kind of a meaning. Right. Mostly the same kind of a meaning. Antonym is the opposite word. Correct. Absolutely correct. So synonym is something, for example, a word that is present here. For example, there is a word called as abandon. There is a word called as abandon here. So the meaning of this abandon is to give up completely, to leave a person or to leave something behind. Okay. So synonyms means which gives you almost the equal meaning of this one, which obeys the same kind of meaning. We call it as a synonym. Words that almost obey with the same meaning of the word are called as synonyms, whereas words which can give you the opposite of it, okay, are called as antonyms. So that's all. So now, so that is very simple. So now we're gonna discuss about all these things, okay, very quickly. We'll focus on few words, and then we'll continue with reading comprehension, and then again after completion of reading comprehension, we'll focus on this again. Okay. So please give me 2 minutes. I'm going to start. So the first one, this is a useful word for you all. Abandon. Abandon means to leave. Okay. Actual meaning of abandon is nothing but to leave. To leave something behind, or to leave, cease to support or look after. Okay. To leave someone. Something we call as to give up. Okay. This is the actual meaning of abandon. Okay. For example, we abandoned the car as it is, uh, as the engine got spoiled. Okay, we abandoned the car. That means we left the car in the middle of the highway. We abandoned the car in the middle of the highway because the engine spoiled. Okay, so that means that you left the car. That's what it means to say. Okay, for example, he was abandoned by his mother at his early age. He was abandoned by his mother at an early age. That means he was left by his mother at a very early age. Okay, abandon. Okay, abandon. That means to leave something behind. Okay, to leave, desert. Okay, relinquish, forego, forsake. All these are synonyms to the words. Of course, you can also add many other words like desert, leave, break, break up with. Okay, dump. Okay, now the opposite of this is stick by. To get attached, attachment, stick by. That means to stay by. Opposite of it. Okay, stick by. Opposite of it is stick by. Okay, so abandon is a good word for you to remember. Okay, these are the synonyms, and apart from these synonyms, you can also write other synonyms. Antonym is that I told you, it's stick by. Stick by. S-T-I-C-K. Stick by. B-Y. By. Okay. Relinquish, renounce. All these are opposites to abandon anyway. Okay. Now the next important word is abridge. Abridge is a very useful word for you. Okay. Abridge means to shorten. To shorten. Abridged his lengthy speech. Okay. Abridged his lengthy speech. Okay. He abridged his lengthy speech. Abridged in the sense he shortened because the audience felt bored or something. So that's the reason he reduced it the speech. Abridged means to shorten. Okay. And the synonyms for this are curtail, diminish, retrench, and there are also many other words. Shorten, cut, curtail, and all these things. Okay. Shorten, to cut, curtail, and all these things. Okay. Shorten. And antonyms, you may not find much of antonyms, but whatever here present: enlarged, amplify, elongate, protract, whatever that is used to increase, that is what we call as the antonym of this one. Okay, because abridge means to shorten, to reduce the size, whereas to increase the size you can consider as elongate, extend, lengthen, prolong. Okay, protract. Protract means to extend, protract. It is also a verb. Protract means to increase the size. Okay, next. The next important word here is this is something I think you all know this. Accelerate. Accelerate means to increase the speed. Okay, you all know about this. There is nothing much to explain. Acceleration. You all have an idea about the acceleration and accelerate, right? Accelerate is nothing but to increase the speed. Just to increase the speed. Speed up, we say, hurry up. Increase in rate, amount, or extent. Okay. Antonyms means decrease, diminish, dwindle, lessen, contract. Okay. Recede, wane. All these are the opposite words for this. Let me check if there is any option. Now I'm just checking for yeah. Okay, so that is what actually accelerate means. Of course, you can also okay. So for accelerate, you can find many other antonyms also. Something like contract, decrease, diminish, dwindle, lessen, recede, and wane. Okay. So these are the different sets of antonyms that you can find for the accelerate. So this is a useful word where you may experience these kind of things. And there are many other synonyms also, like accumulate, appreciate, balloon, boom, build, okay, climb, enlarge, escalate, expand, gain, increase, mount. There are many such kind of synonyms for this particular word, okay, for accelerate. So just be online for a minute. There are some sound disturbances here. Just be online. Okay, so abandon. Let's start with this one. For example, okay, we already discussed abandon, right? So let me help you with this accelerate. So there is a notes that I'm trying to use. Accelerate. Okay, are you all able to see my screen? Are you all able to see my screen? Okay, fine. Accelerate. Right, for this particular word, accelerate, I'm gonna help you with a few different words. Just give me a minute. Okay, accelerate, for this you can go with this and to speed up. You all understand that? Okay. Synonyms for this accelerate is accumulate, okay, and also appreciate, okay, and enlarge. You can also use enlarge as a synonym, and escalate. Escalate is also a synonym for this. Expand, gain, okay, increase. See, synonyms means it can be a word or a group of words which may not give you 100% exact meaning, but they will suit to that word. Okay, so that's the reason don't get confused by this escalate, because you may get a doubt that how can escalate be a synonym to accelerate, but still accelerate is a synonym to accelerate, because escalate also means to increase in volume, number, amount, or intensity. Okay, so escalate also means to increase. Okay, spread. Okay, there is also another word called a snowball. Okay, wax, swell, all these are synonyms to accelerate. Okay, and talking about antonyms. What happened to this? I'm talking about antonyms. Antonyms of this word are contract, decrease, sorry for decrease, okay, diminish, dwindle, lessen, okay, recede, okay. These are another words for uh, and you can also write an example for this, like the plane accelerated down the runway. The plane accelerated down the runway, in the sense, what does it actually mean? What do you actually mean by it? The plane accelerated down the runway, in the sense, what do you actually understand from this sentence? Okay, the plane accelerated down the runway, in the sense the plane moved across, moved forward. That's what it means to say. Okay, so this is the main word, accelerate. Okay, let's focus on the another word. um, You can also just go through these words, but I'm just trying to help you with the words which you may expect in any kind of verbal ability section or something, where you may actually experience several kinds of questions. Yeah. All these words are something where you can just focus. You may not experience this kind of questions, but adversary. Adversary is again a useful one. Adversary means opponent. Adversary is a noun actually. Adversary is a noun and adverse is an adjective. Okay. Adversary is a noun. Okay. Adversary is a noun, whereas adverse is an adjective. Adversary means an opponent. Opponent, maybe it could be on a conflict or it could be on a dispute. Okay, a rival, enemy, challenger, contender, okay, competitor. We call all these kinds of candidates as adversary. Okay. Adversary is a noun initially, and the synonyms means you can say opponent, okay, or enemy, or a challenger, or a contender, okay, or a competitor, okay. I'm sorry. competitor. So this is something that you need to remember about this adversary. Okay, it's a noun. Okay, opposition. Okay, rival, all these things. Okay, and coming to antonyms. And coming to antonyms of this particular word, you can say ally or a supporter. Ally, supporter, you can consider these as the antonyms of this particular word. Amigo. There is also another word called as amigo, friend. All these are antonyms for this word. Okay, adversary. Right? Now just try to understand what is adversity. Adversity in the sense of bad luck, a difficult situation. Okay? Bad luck. Bad luck and good luck. That's all. Misfortune and good fortune. Okay? There is nothing much explanation required for this word, but adversity means a bad luck, a misfortune. Okay, adversity is also a noun. Okay, adversity is also a noun. Adversity means a bad luck. You can say misfortune. Okay, accident, disaster, affliction, misery, heartbreak, reverse, setback, calamity, tragedy, burden. All these things can be considered as a whatever that is related to the bad. You can consider that as a synonyms for adversity, like misfortune, ill luck, bad luck, trouble, difficulty, hardship, distress, disaster. Okay, heart attack, heartache, misshape, accident, reversal, crisis, cross, burden. All these are called as hassle. All these are called as the synonyms for adversity. Of course, there are nothing much antonyms, but whatever that is related to good, fortune, luck, okay, all these are considered as uh, antonyms. Okay. Hmm. Aggressive is something you all know, so I need not explain again about this. Hmm. Elude is something again you need to understand. Elude is a useful word for you where you may experience. Um, Allude means to suggest or call attention to indirectly. Okay, suggest, imply, mention, touch on. Okay. Allude is a verb. Okay. To refer to indirectly, as it is mentioned here, alluded quite subtly to his friend's misfortune. That means indirectly, he is responsible for his friend's fortune. That's what it means to say. Okay, he led his friend to misfortune indirectly, not directly, but indirectly. Imply, okay, suggest, mention, cite, okay, indirectly, you can say, to make an indirect reference. Okay, hint, imply, indicate. intimate, suggest, all these are synonyms as mentioned here, whereas antonyms are something which you refer to directly. There is also a phrasal verb like allude to something or allude to somebody. Nothing much antonyms you can actually identify for allude, but these are the suggested ones. Okay, next. Next one is ambiguous. Ambiguous. Ambiguous in the sense ambivalent. So having mixed feelings or contradictory ideas about something. Okay, having mixed feelings, ambiguous. Equivocal, you can say ambivalent. Okay, puzzling, obscure, unclear, perplexing. Okay, doubtful, double-edged. You can consider all these things as the synonyms for this one. Okay, puzzled by the ambiguous statement. Puzzled in the sense because it is something which is uncertain, more than one way. Okay, so open to more than one interpretation, not having a one obvious meaning. Okay, ambiguous is actually an adjective. Okay, ambiguous is actually an adjective. Not having a one opinion. Okay, a kind of, you can say, you can also find some kind of synonyms like puzzle. Okay, perplexing, unusual, contradicting. Okay, misleading. Okay, arguable, you can say debatable. Okay, obscure. You can consider these as the synonyms for ambiguous. Okay. So opposite will be antonyms will be oppositely the opposite to that, which is very clear, explicit, unquestionable, clear, and all these things. Okay, right. Next one. Next one, amiable. Amiable in the sense good natured, friendly. Amiable is also an adjective. Okay, it is A, B, and J. Amiable is also an adjective, good nature, friendly. Okay, he seemed an amiable young man. Okay, you should have an amiable approach towards these things, towards these people. That means a good natured, friendly, attracted friends by his amiable disposition. That means with his very good, amiable approach, friendly approach. Okay. And obviously, the opposite, you cannot find unfriendly. Okay. Disagreeable, you can consider it as antonyms for this. Okay. Anonymous, you know what is meant by anonymous? Unknown, something which is unknown. And the next one is apathy. Apathy. Apathy is a noun, whereas apathetic is an adjective. Apathy is a noun. Apathy is a noun in the sense lack of interest or enthusiasm, lack of any kind of feeling is something we call as apathy. Okay, lack of interest or lack of enthusiasm, detachment, okay, coolness, something we call it as apathy. Whereas opposite to this is enthusiasm, interest, all these things you consider as opposites to this: enthusiasm, interest, passion, and all these things. But usually apathy means lack of interest, enthusiasm, or concern. Okay. Not having interest. And it's an opposite. Okay. For example, heavy intake of drugs lead to apathy and depression. That means you don't have any kind of feelings. You lose interest towards anything. That's what it means to say. Apprehensive. This is a very good word which you need to learn. Apprehensive means anxious, alarmed, worried. Okay, anxious or fearful that something bad or unpleasant will happen. Apprehensive. Apprehensive means that means you are very anxious or fearful that something bad or unpleasant will happen. When you're afraid that something bad or something unusual or some kind of a fear. For example, I'm very apprehensive about tomorrow's exam because I didn't prepare well. Okay, so I'm very apprehensive about tomorrow's exam. I have invited a lot of people to the party, but I'm a little apprehensive that no one will come. Okay, that means you're very fearful about the people. Apprehensive, right? Apprehensive is an adjective. Okay, I hope you understood, right? Okay, let us proceed to the next one. Just give me a minute. Okay, so this is about this one. Next, let's focus on the next one. Yeah, articulate is something which is a useful one for you to understand. Articulate. Articulate in the sense um, where you can express your ideas or opinions very clearly, where you can speak very clearly without any confusion, where you have got good coherence and explanation of things. So that is what we call as articulate. Articulate in the sense to speak clearly or distinctly. Okay, to be able to explain it clearly without any misunderstanding. Eloquent, say. Eloquent is also a very good adjective for this one. Articulate. Fluency, expressive, eloquence. Okay, lucid, lucidity, silver tongued. Okay, all the voluble, all these are considered. For example, I found myself unable to articulate my feelings. Unable to articulate in the sense, unable to express. Okay. Unclear, low in frequency, low in fluency, mm, or unable to describe. All these can be considered as the antonyms for this one. Inability to express, unclear, not clear, ambient. You can consider these as opposites to this. Yeah. See, asylum is a place offering shelter and retreat. You can find any asylum because I don't know, and most of you may have other kinds of illusions that asylum means where they put the people who are mentally retarded. That's not true. Asylum is not a place where they put mentally retarded people. Okay, but asylum is a place which offers shelter to any kind of a person. It could be any kind of an asylum. If you call it as mental asylum, then you put the people who are in with mental illness or something. Okay, right. Attributes in the sense characteristics, you can say an inherent quality, strengths. Okay, you call them as attributes. Attribute in the sense, attribute is a word. Okay, quality, feature, characteristic. Okay, you can use attribute as a verb here if it is a sign or something, but when attribute is used as a noun, we call it as a quality, characteristic, strength, and all these things. Okay. Okay. Benevolent in the sense who is very kind, charitable. All such people as benevolent. Benevolent, kind-hearted, charitable, good, compassionate. All kinds of generic words like good natured, good, gracious, tolerant, caring, accommodating, philanthropic, charitable, humane, humanitarian, public spirited. Okay, decent, neighborly, gracious, tolerant, big hearted, kind hearted. Okay, unselfish. Okay, and opposites to that will be malevolent and the sense unkind, tight fixed, or tight fisted, not charitable, non charitable, and all these things. Okay, so that's a very good word, benevolent. Right? And benevolent is an adjective. Benevolent is an adjective. Okay, he was a benevolent old man and wouldn't hurt a fly. Okay, he was a benevolent old man and wouldn't hurt a fly. That means he is so kind that he didn't hurt. He doesn't want to hurt a small fly. Okay, that's what it means to say. A bibliophile. Bibliophile is a person. It is considered as a noun, and bibliophile is a person who loves books. For example, I am a bibliophile. Okay, I am really an obsessed lover of books. Okay, so Bibliophile in the sense of bookworm. You say bookworm, right? So that is what? Bibliomane, bibliolater, bibliophile in the sense of person who loves books too much. Okay, bookworm, you can say. There will not be any opposites to that. Okay, there will not be any synonyms of this. And bizarre, bizarre in the sense person, something which is unusual, strange, unfamiliar, very strange or unusual. Bizarre is an adjective, okay? Something which is unusual, something which is not usual, okay? Something which is unorthodox, unfamiliar, typical. You can say old fashioned or something which is differently fashioned or something, okay? Bizarre. It's a very widely used word and it will be useful for you, which is not ordinary, you can say. Irregular, ridiculous, freak, freakish, okay, extraordinary, perplexing, fantastic, out of the way, extraordinary. You can consider all these things as different synonyms for this one. Whereas antonyms will be the same thing, like ordinary, normal, normal, general. Okay? So these are the different words for this. Next one is blemish. Blemish is a good word. Blemish in the sense to spoil, to diminish, you can say. Blemished his character. That means where the person strongly spoiled. Okay? A defect. Defect, you can say. Can be considered as a defect. Okay, a defect or a scar or something. Other words are nothing much interesting, but this candid is something useful for you. Candid in the sense outspoken. Something which is, I'll just try to help you with an easy word. Frank, which is unpost, without any preparation. Okay, open, straightforward, unreserved. Okay, so which is very candid in the sense which is very truthful and a frank one, which is straightforward. Something which is not artless, igneous or unbiased. Antonyms are particularly you cannot find any antonyms for this, but guarded, insincere, okay, secretive, all these can be considered as antonyms for this one. Other words you can just read and understand: capricious, inclined through some whim or fancy, change the mind, purpose, or action suddenly. So that's also an adjective. Caricature, you all know about caricature. This is a useful word. Castigate in the sense to punish or criticize severely. Okay, castigate in the sense to punish, castigated. Commend. nothing much in detail about this, but chronic, which is something which is continuing a long time, from a very time. So he's suffering from a chronic kidney disease. We say chronic kidney disease in the sense something which started from a very long time. Okay, and it was increasing day by day. It has been increasing day by day. Chronic. Okay. Next one. Nothing much useful here, but you can just have a look into this. I will send you this document anyway, but I'm just trying to help you with the kind of words you may usually experience in the exams. Yeah, delinquent. This is a useful word. Delinquent. Delinquent in the sense lawless, a kind of a criminal. Delinquent is used as a noun. Delinquent person in the sense an offender, a wrongdoer, criminal, culprit. Okay, offender, particularly a young person. Okay, we call that person as. Whereas opposite to that is well behaved. Well behaved. Okay, and this is also a useful word, deluge. Deluge, in the sense it's a severe flood, you can say. A flash flood, torrent, a severe flood. Deluge is a severe flood. Downpour, a severe downpour, severe flood. Okay. And demagogue is a leader who tries to still the passions of people for his own purposes. The mob roused by unprincipled demagogue. Okay. Demagogue in the sense demagogue in the sense of a kind of an agitator, troublemaker. Okay, who uses his political responsibilities to create trouble to the people. Okay, such kind of people are called as demagogue. Demagogue is a noun, of course. Okay, and these are the words where you can actually understand easily. Demotes, devastation, devious, different. About this different dilemma, disconcern, disparity, dispassionate, dispatch, dispel, dissent. Okay. Okay. And here, this is a useful word for you. Uh, elucidate. Elucidate in the sense to make it clear, to explain it clear. Okay. To explain, elucidated his theory so that even a school boy could understand it. It means a clarification. To give a clear explanation of things. We call it as elucidate. Yeah, elucidate. Right. Okay. So I just want you all to please go through this other words. And the meanwhile, we'll see. Let's focus on the next part. Let us focus on reading comprehension. Okay. So then we will try to understand about. You guys have got enough time, then we will focus on this again back. Otherwise, we will focus it on tomorrow. But I think you understood good number of words. So let's focus on the reading comprehension now. Okay, I'll continue with this after reading comprehension. Otherwise, tomorrow. Okay, don't worry too much about it. So, by the way, could you all please give me a clarification? Because in the schedule given to me, I observed that tomorrow there is a mock test or something. So, do you have a mock test tomorrow schedule? So, what is that, the timetable that they have given you? I don't know. So, could you please tell me? So, do you have any mock test or something tomorrow? Because in the schedule they have provided in the same way. Yes. Okay. See, let us now focus on quant ma'am. Okay. That's okay. I'm asking you, you need to go with the schedule in this way, like one day ahead. For example, we are discussing next days. Look at the 21st, 20th schedule 20 June. There is a verbal mock test, something that is mentioned in the schedule. So, so what is that? Are they going to conduct a mock test for you tomorrow or something? Okay. Let me know if they're going to conduct a mock test or something. Verbal is not yet completed, right? So that's the reason I'm asking you, because we started a day late. So that's the reason I'm asking you. Okay. Anyway, let us focus on this reading comprehension part as of now. Tomorrow we'll continue with the synonyms and antonyms. Yes. Okay, fine. Thank you. So are you all able to see my screen? Yes. Okay, thank you then. So the unseen passage or the comprehension questions covered the maximum part of the verbal ability section. Okay. So first of all, just tell me what is comprehension. Then we will understand about reading comprehension. What do you think the word comprehension means? What do you think the word comprehension means? What do you think the word comprehension means? So what do you think the word comprehension means? So can anyone give me the answer for this? What do you think the word comprehension means? Yes. Comprehension means understanding. Yes. Understanding, conception, okay, apprehension, knowledge, awareness, okay, perception, interpretation, okay, grasp. So there are many such words for comprehension. Okay. Okay, comprehension means just understanding whatever that you see or read or something. Reading comprehension means to understand whatever you read. Okay. Comprehension means understanding, conception, or interpretation. Okay. And how do you understand that? By reading. Reading comprehension means you understand it by reading. What do you read? A passage. Okay. So what is a passage? Passage is nothing but a group of paragraphs. What is a paragraph? Paragraph is nothing but a group of sentences. What is a sentence? Sentence is nothing but a group of words. That's all. Okay. So everything is simple. All you need to do is to understand what is reading comprehension. So just try to read this properly. I will just scroll down. You just try to understand. Okay. So reading comprehension is nothing but the ability to read and understand the information provided in the passages. That's all. Okay. So you will just try to read whatever that is present. Okay. So to solve the reading comprehension questions, one must be able to understand the crux of the passage. Crux is pronounced as like this. KRKS, crux. Crux in the sense, main theme of the passage. What is the main idea? Okay. Crux is nothing but understanding the main idea of the passage. We call it as the crux of the passage. The main theme or the main idea of the passage. Okay. And understanding that, you will just try to answer the questions based on the text provided. And you will also need to develop an idea of the tone. What do you understand by tone and tenor of the passage? Tone in the sense, what is the writer trying to explain? What is his method of explaining? Is he trying to argue, or is he trying to insist someone to do something, or what is his intention. And also tenor in the sense his feelings, the writer's feelings of the passage. Okay. So you should be able to understand whatever you read. Okay. So, for example, you may know something more about the given passage. For example, let us suppose the topic given is something about maybe something about robotic technologies or something. You know something else about it, but you should not put that knowledge here. You understand? So you should be able to understand only whatever that is given in the passage, not anything away from that. Okay, something in the sense you should be able to read between the lines, not away from the lines. Okay. Okay, what are the different types of questions that they may be asked in the passages? See, they may ask you these kind of questions to give a suitable title out to the passage. So they may ask you to read the passage completely, and what do you think is the right title of this passage? And they may give you some options below. Or they may also ask you some questions related to synonyms and antonyms. Okay. So in a particular line, there is a passage. What do you actually understand by that? So they may ask you some kind of questions in that way. What is the antonym of that, synonym of that? Or they may ask you to determine the tone of the passage. Tone in the sense, what is the writer's tone in identifying this particular passage? And they may ask you to draw some kind of assumptions or conclusions based on the passage. Or they may ask you something related, they may ask you to fill with the right word, some kind of sentence completion or sentence improvement. Or they may ask you some kind of vocabulary based question, something related to synonyms or antonyms or meanings of the particular word or something. Okay, so these are the different sets of questions that you may experience in the reading comprehension. Now let us try to understand how to solve reading comprehension. First of all, to solve the reading comprehension passages, first of all, you need to read the questions first, not the passage. Okay, because if you land in, because if you read passage until you read it twice or thrice, you really cannot understand the complete passage. Okay. So if you keep on reading the passage, you may lose some time. So that's the reason you need to go with the questions first. Okay. And in the questions also, you should be able to solve the vocabulary based questions first. Okay. Okay. So after solving the vocabulary based questions, then you can go with the other sets of questions. Okay. And if you are unable to understand a particular option, you can apply something called as elimination method also. Okay. So instead of explaining you all these things, let me help you with an example first. Okay. So I will send you the passages in the group first, in your Telegram group. So let us focus on one passage in particular now. Okay. Please take a quick 5-minute break. Okay. Please take a quick 5-minute break and I will start. In the meanwhile, I'll send the required documents to the group. Okay, so here is the passage. Okay, so what questions do you think we need to solve first? I told you, right? First of all, you should not focus on the passage directly. You need to focus on the questions. So which questions do you think we need to solve first? Open that reading comprehension I have sent in your respective groups. Please try to open that document, reading comprehension practice 1. Try to open that reading comprehension practice 1. Reading comprehension practice 1. Try to open that reading comprehension practice 1. Okay. And please try to look into the document and just let me know what are the questions you need to solve first. Okay. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Kindly stay connected. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Yes, so what are the questions do you think we need to work on first? Here. Okay. So just help you with the things. Okay. See here. In this particular reading comprehension, as I told you, please don't read the passage first, because if you read the passage, you may lose the required time to fill. So that's the reason, don't focus on the passage, focus on the questions. And among the questions, try to identify the questions which can be solved without looking into the passage at all. That means vocabulary based questions. For example, you cannot solve this question first, because for this tone of the other in the sense, you need to read the complete passage. In this one also, may not be possible immediately, but maybe because as he has given paragraph 3, so maybe just by reading paragraph 3, you may just try to identify it. Just by reading paragraph 3, you may just try to identify it. Okay. Now this can be solved easily, because this doesn't require anything. It is just asking the synonym for inside ears. And also, this also is not possible to solve immediately. But this can be possibly solved, because they are asking just the definition of abridged. Okay. And this is also not possible, because you need to read the complete, because he said using the passage as a guide. So you need to read the complete passage. This one also may be possible, maybe because they are just asking you to go with only one paragraph, right? So you may try, you can put it as a question mark, this one. Okay. In the final paragraph, the author writes despite. Okay, so it is only talking about again the final paragraph. Okay, so you may consider this one also. Okay, right. Now let us focus on the vocabulary based questions first. So what are the vocabulary based questions here? Question number 3, 5, that's all, main. So first of all, let us identify what is the meaning, best synonym of inside ears. So to understand the synonym of inside ears, you should have a clear idea what is inside ears, right? What is the meaning of inside ears, first of all? Can anyone tell me what is the meaning of inside ears? Yes. See, inside ears in the sense which is secretly spread, widely spread without any prior notification or something. Okay. So it is not seen, it is not reflected outside, but it will be increasing without being reflected outside. So which is widely spread, but which is really harmful. So that is what we call as inside ears. So now you should be able to identify the right synonym for inside ears. Okay. For example, mischievous. Look at this one. Mischievous is not the correct option, because you know what is mischievous means. Mischievous means which is very some kind of what is mischievous? What is mischievous? What is the meaning of mischievous? Just tell me what is the meaning of mischievous? Notorious, yeah, some kind of a spoiled kind of a thing. Okay, so mischievous cannot be the answer. Treacherous also means which is widely spread. So treacherous is the right synonym. Treacherous is the right word. Very good. Now seductive is not correct because seductive also means something which is in the in a different meaning. Okay, just to initiate something in that way. Okay, apparent in the sense obvious. So that is also not correct. Cumulative is also not correct. Cumulative report, so collective one. So that is also not correct. So we go with the answer treacherous. Okay. So as used in paragraph 3, what is the best synonym for insidious is treacherous. Treacherous or insidious means which is widely or very harmfully spread beneath the sheet, which is not reflected outside, but it is widely spread. Okay. Right. Now, question number 5. As used in paragraph 7, which is the best definition of abridged? We just discussed about abridged a few minutes ago. So can you guess what is the meaning of abridged? I explained you what is abridged. Yes, shortened. Compressed, not compressed, not compressed, shortened. Compressed means to reduce in size, to reduce the actual size, but shortened in the sense completely to uh, reduce the length of it. Okay, but compressed cannot be considered. So curtailed is the right one. Trimmed is a different one, which reduce this trimmed in the sense to cut to fit that exactly to that space. So lengthened means to increase, extended, compressed doesn't come under the picture. So we go with the curtailed as the answer. Okay. So which is the best definition of abridged? Best definition of abridged is curtailed. Okay, correct. See, without reading the passage, we got 1.1 mark here and 1 mark here, right? Yes or no? Now, I put a question mark to a few questions, right? Let us focus on those questions. Paragraph 7, final paragraph, and also the paragraph 3. Okay, so let us focus on this one first. Paragraph 7, what is the main idea of paragraph 7? And in the final paragraph and also on paragraph 3. Now let us focus on the question number 2. So in paragraph 3, the author finds starvation and dehydration induced euthanasia is to be more insidious because you know what is insidious, widely spread. Because so for that you need to read the paragraph 3. You need not read the complete passage, you need to read the paragraph 3. So let us go back to paragraph 3. This is what he is saying, right? The seeming acceptance of active forms of euthanasia is alarming, but we face a bigger, more insidious threat from passive forms of euthanasia every year in the hospitals and nursing homes around the country. There are growing number of documented deaths caused by caregivers withholding life sustaining care, including food, water from vulnerable patients who cannot speak for themselves. Now going back to this. So in paragraph 3, the author finds starvation and dehydration induced euthanasia is to be more widely spread. So actually euthanasia means, here already they mentioned, euthanasia means kind of a killing, some kind of a good death for a patient who is suffering from incurable illness. Okay, so something we call as mercy killings. Okay, now here the seeming acceptance of active forms of euthanasia is alarming, but we are facing more insidious threat from passive forms of euthanasia, right? Every year in hospitals and nursing homes around the country, there are growing number of documented deaths caused by caregivers withholding life-sustaining care, including food, water, from vulnerable patients who cannot speak for themselves, right? Now, looking at the options, what do you think is the right option? In paragraph 3, the author finds starvation and dehydration induced euthanasia. That means euthanasia, which is induced by starvation and dehydration, is more. Because why? Because euthanasia is legally considered to be criminal act. There is nothing called as criminal act mentioned in the paragraph 3. You should only be able to focus on the things that are focused in paragraph 3. They did not talk anything about criminal act or euthanasia legally considered criminal act. That is not right option. Public attitude towards euthanasia is becoming more positive is also not correct, because there is nothing related to public or something here in this particular paragraph. It often involves those who cannot protest themselves. Look at this. It often involves those who cannot protest. Go back to paragraph 3. From vulnerable patients who cannot speak for themselves. Who cannot protest for themselves, who cannot speak for themselves. So almost it's the same answer. So you can go with option number 3 as the right answer. But also look at the other two options also. The patient has asked to die with dignity. No, there is nothing as such. Its perpetrators are viewed as kindly caregivers. No, there's nothing about this at all. Okay, so the author finds starvation and dehydration induced euthanasia is to be more insidious because why it is being increased day by day? Because there are people who cannot speak for themselves, right? So that's the reason. People who cannot protest for themselves. You can see if you look at the last sentence, you can easily identify the exact answer for this, right? So this is the way that you should be able to identify. You should not assume the answer. You should be able to identify the answer from the paragraph. I hope you all understood. You should not assume the answer for yourselves. You should be able to identify the answer from the paragraph, which is very important. Okay, I hope you all understood. So this should be the one. Okay, now let us focus on the other question. Question number 7. See, here also we got one more point. 3 marks. 3 out of 8 without reading the passage at all. Of course, as I'm explaining you, it may take more time, right? Otherwise, you can easily solve it within 5 minutes. Less than 5 minutes, actually, right? Okay. The main idea of paragraph 7 is that. What is the main idea of paragraph 7? So to understand this, first of all, you need to go back to paragraph 7. What is paragraph 7? You know, this is 3, 4. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, this is the 7th paragraph. The main idea of paragraph 7. No one has the right to judge that another's life is not worth living. The basic right to life should not be abridged because someone decides that someone else's quality of life is too low. If we base the right to life on quality of life standards, there is no logical place to draw the line. Okay. No one has the right to judge that another's life is not worth living. Okay. The basic right to life should not be abridged because someone decides that someone else's quality of life is too low. If we base the right to life on quality of life standards, so there is no logical place to draw the line. I hope you understood the question, understood that paragraph. I'm sorry. It means that no one has the right to judge some other person's life, and of course we cannot shorten someone else's life depending upon the quality of life. Okay, so we cannot actually draw a line between the quality of life based on the standards of quality of life. So that's what this passage, that's what this paragraph means. Now going back to what is the main idea of paragraph 7? Lawyers will be unable to prosecute or defend caregivers. No, there is nothing about lawyers at all. You can do elimination like this. Eliminate it. No compressive right or wrong definition of euthanasia will exist. No, there is nothing about this at all. Using a subjective standard will make the decision to end an individual's life arbitrary, or no boundary will exist between euthanasia and care omission, or quality of life will no longer be able to be rigidly defined. What do you think is the right answer among the three? What do you think is the right answer among the three options? Can anyone guess the answer? See, in paragraph 7, the author writes, no one has the right to judge that another's life is not worth living. Okay, so the basic right to life should not be abridged because someone decides that someone else's quality of life is too low. If we base the right to life on quality of life standards, there is no logical place to draw the line. So this means that other things allowing care to be withheld because the patient has poor quality of life is a bad idea because people may not agree on what qualities as a life is worth living. Okay, so you cannot identify or define the life on the quality of life standards. So that's what it means to say. So, so the other thinks that this will lead to the decision being made with no real standard at all. You don't mean to say there is no standard at all. So using a subjective standard will make the decision to end an individual's life arbitrary. This is correct. Because option 4 is not true. No boundary will exist between euthanasia and care omission. This is not true. Quality of life will not be able to be rigidly defined. This is also not true. Because the author argues paragraph 7, in paragraph 7, no one should decide that someone else's life isn't worth living. So it means that definition of quality of life will be changed. So that's the reason option E is also not correct. Okay. Option E is also not correct. I hope you all understood. Right. So that is what it actually means to say. Okay. Now, going back to question number 8. In the final paragraph, the author writes, despite the ravages of their disease, they are still our fellow human beings and deserve our care and respect. The main purpose of this statement is to what? The main purpose of this statement is to. Final paragraph. Look at the final paragraph. This one. Guess the answer for question number 8. Guess the answer for question number 8. His main intention is to justify an earlier statement. Okay, because he had written, despite the ravages of their diseases, they are still our fellow human beings and deserve our care and respect. So, despite of all those things, they are still our fellow human beings. So, he means to justify the earlier statement that he has given. He is not trying to argue anything. He is not trying to give any example. He is not gainsay a later statement. That means he is not at all contradicting. He is not objecting to any larger idea. He is just trying to justify his statements, whatever he has given. That means give more explanation of the things. The quality of life to protect vulnerable patients. We must foster more positive attitude towards people with serious and incapacitating illness and conditions, despite the ravages of their diseases. What do you understand by rage? Rage in the sense ruin, devastation, spoil. Okay, despite the despite they are being spoiled of their diseases. Okay, still they are still our fellow beings. So he's just trying to convince the people with his new statements. That's all. Okay. I hope you all understood. So again, we got 1, 2, 3. 1 point here and 1 point here. See, total 5 questions answered without reading the complete passage. Will you agree with me? Without reading the complete passage, you are able to answer all the 5 questions, around 5 questions. There are 3 questions still remaining. And to understand these 3 questions, you will just try to read the passage now. Of course, again, you may not read the complete passage also, because you have already read paragraph number 3, paragraph number 7, and also the last paragraph. So you have some idea. Depending upon that, you can just try to identify other questions also. For example, the tone of the author can be best described as. What is the tone of the author? Is he pleading, or he is begging someone to do, or he is being argumentative with someone, or is he trying to explain other person's problem, compassionate, or is he talking to is he talking for someone else, or he is explaining some other person's opinion? No. Is he being argumentative? No. Empathetic means ability to explain about someone's opinions. Okay. Empathetic means ability to understand some other's point of view. One is understanding, one is explaining other's point of view. But he is not explaining any person's point of view. He is just explaining his own love and care towards those people. So he is being compassionate. C is the right answer here. Because he is just trying to be very soft and very concerned about those people. That's all. So he is being very compassionate. If you could recheck the passage again, you will understand that. Okay. Now, okay. The author maintains that death by withholding care is. What do you think is the answer for question number 4? Yes. The author maintains that death by withholding care is. Where is death by withholding care? In the statement, in this particular passage, where is death by withholding care? Try to identify the answer for the question. Answers for question number 4 and 6. Identify the answers for question number 4 and 6 quickly. Yes, are you able to identify the answer for question number 4? See here. The court held decisions to withhold care, life sustaining care, may be made not only by close family members but also by a number of third parties. Okay, death by withholding care. Documents death caused by caregivers withholding life sustaining care. Okay, so just try to understand from this paragraph, so from these points, that he mean to say death by withholding care is being offered by many means, and particularly death by withholding life sustaining care may be made not only by close family members. That means to say often requested by the family members. Okay, that's what by withholding care is being requested by the family members. So you can consider often requested by family members. The author maintains that death by withholding care is often requested by family members. It is not largely confined to hospitals, is not largely confined to terminally ill, not approved by willing lives, or it is not difficult to prove if prosecuted. There is nothing else kind of discussion about this. So the death by withholding care is often requested by family members because it is mentioned there, requested by family members directly in the passage. Right? So that's the reason C is the right option. Okay. Now identify the answer for question number 6. So using the passage as a guide, it can be inferred that author would find euthanasia less objectionable in cases in which See here, actually, option is all the three. All the three. E is the right option because patient's death is imminent. When patient's death is confined, is declared for sure. Maybe within few days he's gonna be die. There is no other option. Then it is okay. And the patient has left instructions and a will not to provide care. And the patient refuses to accept nourishment. So these three are correct if you go back to the passages here. It is often relatives to the patient who requests the care to be withheld. So this is I'm showing you for the fourth question. Okay. Um, just wait. I'm gonna show it to you. Further, many states have living will laws designed to protect those who withhold treatment. So patient himself wanted to withhold the treatment. Okay. Or when the patient death is almost confirmed. Okay. For example, let me explain you this one in a clear way. See, in paragraph 6, I think, it is paragraph 3, 4, 5, 6, I think this is. Okay, see. These people could be expected to live indefinitely, though in an impaired state, if they were given food, water, and minimal treatment. Okay. Other thinks it is wrong to deny care. So if the patient could continue to live indefinitely, that means indefinitely in the sense if the patient requests to. Okay. So this means that author finds it less objectionable. Definitely. Less objectionable here. Definitely. Patient could continue to live indefinitely if given the customary care. So this means that author should find it less objectionable to deny care to someone who terminally ill, who denies the patient treatment. Okay. So this will definitely supports the statement 1 because when the patient's death is imminent, when it is sure that the patient is going to be die. And also, if you go back to our previous question, author is primarily concerned about death by withholding care who cannot make wishes for their own. Okay, who cannot make wishes for their own, or who cannot. Uh, okay, see here this one, and also okay, whatever. If you actually try to read the complete passage once again, so you will understand that the three options are correct because I'm unable to identify that right one here. So whatever the three are correct. So mostly preferably when you go with these three, whenever you find three, mostly the three will be correct in the reading comprehension. Okay, mostly three will be correct, but in some cases three may not be correct. Okay, three, 1, 2, 3 are correct. Okay, yes, E, it is E. 1, 2, 3 are correct. Okay. Okay, so you can just go and read the complete passage once again so that you will identify the reasons for this three. Okay. So this is the right way to solve a passage in reading comprehension. Okay. I hope you all understood. This is such a huge passage, but still you can just try. Okay. Okay, whatever. Let's focus on the next one. You can please try to open reading comprehension 2, passage 2, practice 2. Open 2, practice 2. Okay. So what are the questions do you think that needs to be solved first here? What are the questions do you think needs to be solved here first? Three. This one also you can try after some time. But first of all, first preference should be given to question number 3, question number 5 first. And then you can go with 4 and 8 also. 8 is also easy to answer if you could observe. Okay, go through the questions first. I'll be back in 2 minutes. Go through the questions first. Okay. Otherwise, you can just take a 2 to 3 minutes of small break and you can get back to this. Okay. Just 3 minutes small break. Okay. I'll be back. Okay. Are you able to hear me? Okay. Just take a 3-minute break. I'll be back. Yeah, I hope you all that. Right. So look at this particular passage here. First of all, you can solve the questions, question number 3 and question number 5 first. And then we will look into the other questions. So what is the best synonym for laudable? What do you think is the right answer? What is laudable? So what do you think laudable means? Laudable means appreciated. Okay, appreciated. Appreciation. Now tell me, what do you think is the right answer for laudable here? Correct. Very good. Praiseworthy is the right answer. Praiseworthy is the right answer. Others are not the right answers. Okay. And question number 5. Excels. What do you think the word excels means? What do you think the word excels means? Have you ever heard about that excels? Uh, excels means to praise someone, to praise or to glorify about something. Excels. It's a verb to praise or to glorify something, to exaggerate about some other person, to praiseworthy, we say, right? So that is so it is praiseworthy, something as such. Now, what do you think is the opposite for this? Mitigates means make less severe or painful. So mitigates is not the right answer. Venerates means glorifies. Glorifies. Venerates is a synonym to exalts. Okay. So mollifies means soothes or appeases. Soothes something. So mollifies is also not the right answer. Okay. Castigates is the right answer. Castigate means to something called as a criticize. Criticize. Exalts means to praise someone. Castigates means to criticize someone. So both are opposites to each other. So that's the reason we call it as castigates as the right answer. Consider castigates as the right answer. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't explain you what is expedites, right? Expedites also means to speed up the action. Mollifies means to soothe. Venerates means again to praise. So which is exactly the synonym of exalts. Mitigate means we make it very less painful or something. Okay, right. So you understood 3 and 4. Now let us focus on final paragraph. Let us focus on question number 7 and 8 now. Because this is something related to final paragraph and this is something related to last sentence. So answer will depend definitely on these two things. So let us observe the final paragraph. The author mentions sports highlights television programs as an example of how 1, 2, 3. So what is the right option? Sports highlights television programs. Final paragraph. So let us focus on the final paragraph now. Where is sports highlight television programs? Here it is. See, sports highlight television programs. Perhaps the most important factor. Try to understand the last paragraph. Okay. Going back to question number. In the final paragraph, the author mentions sports highlights television programs as an example of the media glorifies violence, amateurs learn to mimic professional athletes gain approval. All these three are correct. Option is E. Why? I'll show you here. Because all answers are in the last paragraph. Remember these three lines. Violence, media glorifies violence, amateurs learn to mimic professional athletes gain approval. See? See, media executes all kinds of, what is it mentioned here? Yeah, media glorifies violence. Glorifies in the sense, media highlights violence. Sports media producers have become accustomed to showcasing the most aggressive tackles and the most intense plays. Correct? Especially violent collisions, while the commentators marvel at the players' physical prowess. And it also shows off the hardest hits. Weekly countdown shows us hardest hits. That means these 2 or 3 lines prove that media glorifies violence. Correct? Will you accept that? So one is correct. Amateurs learn to mimic professional athletes. Yeah, the statement is directly here. See? On the fields, amateurs become more likely to imitate their favorite NFL athletes. Imitate or mimic, both means the same, right? To copy, to perform them. So that is also correct. Professional athletes gain approval. Yeah. Professionals are rewarded for injuring each other on the field. Okay. So that's the reason all three are correct. Okay. Next. E is the right answer. Now look at question number 8. In the last sentence of the passage, author writes, players must not be encouraged to trade their careers, their health, their happiness, and even their lives for the sake of a game. Which of the following literary devices is used in the quotation? Okay. So to understand this, first of all, you need to understand what is a literary device. Okay. See, literary device is nothing but this one. Literary device is nothing but it is the style of writing of an author. Okay, something like metaphor, we say irony, climax, hyperbole. Yeah, there are many other, there are around 23 or more than 23 literary devices these days, which are used by writers. It is nothing but the style of writing. Okay, what is the style of writing of the author? in the particular passage. For example, the style is already mentioned here. What is irony? What is climax? What is authorial intrusion? What is hyperbole? Anastrophe? The definition of everything is given here. And accordingly, you can identify what is the right one. What do you think is the right one? Just try to understand. Just try to give one read and just try to understand. What is the right literary device? Any guess? By looking at the sentence, what do you actually understand? What is the formation of the words? By looking at this particular line only, you need not read the passage at all. Which of the following literary devices is used in this quotation? What do you think is the right answer? No, it is B. Answer is B, climax. Because see, players must not be encouraged to trade their careers, their health, their happiness, and even their lives. That means he's talking about their careers to their lives. You understand? Their careers, their health, their happiness, and even their lives. The order, are you able to understand? From the critical lives to their careers. Something like in an ascending order. The words and phrases are properly arranged in a proper order, in a kind of an ascending order. So that's the reason you consider B as the right option. So about A, C, D, and E, there is no particular explanation of these things. There are no such kind of sentences in identify whether it is A, C, D, or E. So we believe that climax is the right answer. Okay, I hope you understood. Characterize it by the arrangement of words, phrases, or causes in the order of ascending power that accumulates into highest or the most intense point. This works to deliver the main action or integral message of the reader in a powerful way. Of course, he did the same thing if you look at that sentence. Okay. So that is what you need to understand. I hope you all understood. That's all. Okay, about this question number 8. So 7 and 8 completed. Let us focus on the other questions. Question number 1, question number 2, and question number 4 and 6. Let us go with 6 first. In describing the sports media, the author emphasizes its what? Responsibility, entertainment value, senseless, danger, or sensationalism? What do you think is the right answer? Look at the last paragraph, you'll understand. So it is about the sensationalism of the media. Okay. The author is highlighting the sensationalism. E is the right answer. The author is highlighting the sensationalism of the media, sports media. The author's tone in the final paragraph can be described as what do you think is the author's tone in the final paragraph? Remorseful. Remorseful in the sense, do you think he's being regretted? Is he feeling any kind of a regression? Do you think is he be feeling any kind of a regression here? No. Hopeless? There is nothing called as hopeless. Do you think he is perplexed? Do you think he confused? No. Do you think he is arrogant? No. But he is insistent. Okay? He is insistent. Option D is the right answer. He is insisting the people about the media and also about the sports players. Okay. Now, what do you think is the answer for questions number 1 and 2? Yes, the answer. I'll give you 2 minutes. Yes. Okay. Based on the information in the passage, it can be inferred that all of the following statements are true except. That means all statements are correct except one statement. What is that one statement? This one. This is not correct. Except this one, all are correct. So answer is C. Because NFL officials have done little to address the problem of CT, that is wrong. Because if you see, in response to the growing understanding of this danger, NFL football, National Football League have revised its safety regulations. Okay. And also NFL officials began enforcing strictly penalty calls for helmet to helmet contact leading with the head hitting a defense player. So NFL did its things. NFL have taken good actions, but NFL officials have done little to address problem of CTE is wrong. Okay, so that's the reason C is the right answer. According to the passage, which of the following factors contribute to the incidence of CTE in amateur players? Inconsistent application of safety regulations at all levels, lack of education about the danger of head injuries, amateur players desire to emulate professionals. All three are correct. E. All three are correct. Inconsistent application of safety regulations for all levels. See, youth, high school, and college leagues should also adopt safety rules even more stringent than those of NFL. That means, so you should be able to apply all levels at equal levels. The regulations should be taken. Okay. Lack of education about the dangers of head injuries. See, educated about the serious danger of head injuries at an early age. So lack of education. That is also true. And amateurs players result to emulate professionals. That means imitate professionals. That is something we have already seen here. Imitate their favorite. Amateurs become more likely to imitate the professionals. So all three are correct. Okay. I hope you understood this one. I hope you all understood. Okay. So this is the way that you should be able to understand. The easy way of writing, solving the reading comprehension. Okay. Now you can open that reading comprehension practice 3. Open this reading comprehension practice 3. What are the questions do you think we need to work on first? Okay. So in this particular passage, reading comprehension, we'll go with question number 3 first. A best definition for empirical. Okay. Question number 4 also, because used in paragraph 2, what is the best describes something that is superlative, easy to identify. Okay. And final paragraph, literary device. I think you all know about this one. Literary device, easy to identify. And this one also can be easily found out. Okay, so let's go with question number 3 first. The best definition for empirical. Empirical means which is derived from experience. Exactly. B is the right answer. Derived from experience. Derived from experience. Okay. In question number 4, very good, very good. Now in question number 4, which is the following best describes something that is superlative? You all know what is superlative degree, right? Largest, strongest, biggest, tallest. So where did you find the word? Where can you find the word in all these options? A word with a superlative degree. Where can you find that word? Where can you find the word? Here, biggest. See, that's the reason option C, biggest. In all the other, here it is bigger. It is comparative degree. In other questions, there is nothing at all. So biggest is the superlative degree, right? So you go with C. That's all. Now, literary device. For this literary device, you need not read the complete paragraph or complete passage. You just need to focus only on the sentence that they given. And though one of maybe more likely now to learn about the widest human mouth than the highest number of casualties in a single battle of the war, the Guinness World Record website offers a telling glimpse into the future of fact finding and recording. Which of the following literary device is used in this quotation? Observe that future of fact finding and recording. And tell me what is the right one here. It's easy to identify. Guess. Easy to guess. You can guess. Future of fact finding and recording. F, and R. Guess the right option. Guess the right option. A repetition of similar sounds in the sentence. Adjacent words that begin with the same sound or letter, creating a repetition of similar sounds in the sentence. Adjacent words that begin with the same sound or letter, creating a repetition of similar sounds, like future of fact finding. All adjacent words starting with F. And recording. See? What is the option? Alliteration. Okay, characterize it by the use of adjacent words that begin with the same sound or letter, creating a repetition of similar sounds in the sentence. Okay, it's easy to identify. Now let us focus on question number 7 also. Which of the following best summarizes the organization of this passage? Organization of this passage. How is the passage organized? That's all. So how do you think is the passage organized? Which order? What is the order of organization of this passage? How is the passage organized? What is this? What is there in the first one, first paragraph, second paragraph, third, and last one? Which of the order? What is the order? Which of these is the right one? Organization of the passage is in this order. E order. Introduction, history, exposition, and conclusion. Introduction, history, exposition, and conclusion. See, here they introduced about the Guinness Book of Records. Okay. And then they went into the history in early years. And here they completely here till here. Okay. And then just to identify the differences, how did they change? How did the book got upgraded? So this is something we call as exposition. The changes that happened, the different kinds of events that took place, exposition. And finally, they have given a conclusion here and the last. Okay. So this is something you call as introduction. Okay. And this is something you call as the history. Okay. And this is something you call as exposition. And this is something you call as the conclusion. Okay. So that's the reason you go in this order. This is correct. Which of the following best summarizes the organization of the passage? Introduction, history, exposition, and conclusion. Okay. Using the passage of the guide, it can be inferred that author must likely believes reality television should be. So, okay, so you should be identified now the answers for 1, 2, and 5. Identify. Because here, let us go with question number 5 first. Because author is talking about reality television, right? So, reality television, this is the key word. Reality television is the keyword. Now go and identify where is reality television here. In which paragraph is the author talking about reality television? See, here it is. Reality television. Just try to understand from here to here. Yeah, from here to here. Just read only this 1, 2 lines. You will understand what is the answer for question number 5. And of course, you can also read this one also. Records were set in 1955 for consuming. See? Okay. I have sent you the document, right, in the group. You didn't get it? Question number 5. See? Okay. Yeah. Come back to this passage once again. They started documenting human achievements as well. A forerunner for reality television, the Guinness Book gave people a chance to become famous for accomplishing eccentric and often pointless tasks. Pointless tasks in the sense, for example, consuming 24 raw eggs in 14 minutes, 1981, fastest solving of Rubik's Cube, which took 38 seconds. Man yielded a non-stop for 10 and quarter hours. So, what do you think? Reality television is Do you think it is corrupt or absurd or idiotic or invaluable or shallow? It is not correct, okay, and it is not invaluable also. It is not even idiotic. It is not about idiotic. Absurd in the sense ridiculous, no, unreasonable, nothing as such, but it is shallow. Shallow means it is not wide enough. Yeah, they are not providing some kind of wide enough task, much useful ones. Okay, shallow. Superficial, kind of a little depth. Okay, right. Now please go with question numbers 1 and 2. Try to give me the answers for question numbers 1 and 2 quickly. Let us go with the second question first. Most significant difference between older editions of the Guinness Book and new editions of the Guinness Book. What is the major difference? Look here. While there is no denying that each of these facts its known individual allure, the later represents a significant deviation from the education-oriented facts of earlier editions. Did you get the point? The later represents a significant deviation from the educated-oriented facts of earlier editions. That means answer is D. A shift in focus from educational to entertaining material. Previously, they used to focus on educational, but now they are focusing entertaining one. Okay, right. Now, what is the answer for question number 1? Yes, A is correct. A is the right option. The encyclopedia of the extremes reflects the changing interests of modern society. Very good. Because here we are not only discussing about the Guinness Book of Records, but we are talking in detail about the changes that happened in the complete process of learning the facts and being knowledgeable enough. Okay, so that's a reason we talk about, because you need to headline of the passage completely. So that's the reason you go with option A as the right answer. Okay, very good. Fine then. So I have also provided with enough content on reading comprehension. You can just go through that. Okay. So we discussed around 50% of synonyms and antonyms today. We will discuss a few more tomorrow. Along with that, we will discuss essay writing also. Okay. So there ends our complete verbal ability process. Okay. I hope you all understood. Yes. So that's all, friends, then. Thank you so much for joining me today. Thank you. Have a great Sunday. Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you. Thank you for responding. Thank you so much. We'll meet tomorrow evening. Okay. Thank you. Bye.